it's the first time I've ever played a role of this magnitude, for sure. I mean, I feel I've done bits and pieces of things here and there, but I actually started working on this 3 years ago. So I started recording this previous to other work that has since come out, and learned a lot from it. I mean, voicing it, frankly, a Disney animated character was always like, for me, like the pinnacle. That's the biggest goal. I mean, it's something I wanted to do even more than any kind of on-camera work, and was right to want it because I frankly find it's more fun than doing anything on camera. And if I could just stay in this world, I'd be really happy doing it because, I don't know, it takes away all of my inhibitions, and there's just nothing actually physically self-conscious making about it, clearly. But I learned a lot from this particular project about how different those worlds are and how differently it has to be approached than live action work. And I, was in love with the idea before even reading the script, and said yes before, I don't even know if I'd read the entire script before I said yes. I was so excited about it. Well, I did at first. I had seen some of the Tinkerbell films, and I studied them all, and first thought that I might have some obligation to honor, frankly, the actresses that had voiced Fawn before when she was a more peripheral character. And without doing some kind of voice matching, like there was nothing that I really could do to, I don't know, keep that character alive. And so I had to just rely on what was written and what we were doing, and hope that, the older versions of the voice were respected, like just innately, because there was nothing that I could really do to, copy what anyone had done. I don't really think that I thought of it as her being central and therefore approaching it differently. It's more that it was just a lot more like work and time spent focusing on one character than when I had voiced, characters in the past who were, quite supporting. I do think that I hadn't really thought about this before you're having asked it, but I guess playing Snow White in a world with very different laws of the universe had to have affected my approaching Fawn in the way that I did, because in animation there really are no laws. It's just anything's possible in animation, and so there are laws, but it's like whatever laws are being defined by the writer of the script, by the director, by the storytellers. And so it is easier to find that like liberation and like way of expressing oneself when you aren't, thinking about things really, I don't know, logically. I think, there's a couple. I had the most fun with probably the hardest scene for me, which was the animal noises scene. Because it's just those things that don't come naturally to me. And I did a lot of studying YouTube, and we did a lot of goofing off for like 4 hours one day trying to find those noises. And I was completely wiped out afterwards, but had great fun. But I think that my favorite scene was probably the very last scene of the film, just because it was so meaningful to me. And I lost it every time I read it, every time we performed it, every time I've seen the movie. It's really gotten me. I think it's a perfectly written ending. Oh, definitely in my heart, without fail. I'm definitely a Fawn in that way.